Good day and welcome to today's Sports Tribe Show. I am your host, Brian Munango, and without wasting any time, let's get into today's hit list. Eswatini will host the 2022 COSAFA Men's Under-20 from October the 7th to the 16th. Namibia's first group match is scheduled for the 8th of October against Comoros, 2 days later against South Africa, and to conclude the group stage against Malawi on the 12th of October. Moving on over to the Omaruru Street Mile will be making its return next month after an absence of 2 years due to COVID-19 pandemic and the related restrictions on all sporting event activities. The race will take place at the town of Omaruru on the 15th of October with over 400 athletes expected to compete. Philippus Ngitumbwa is set to cross hands with Sabelo Ngebiana of South Africa at Ramatex on the 30th of October in the WBO Global title fight, of course. It's going to be an exciting fight with the Namibian set to win this one. As you can see there in the footage, getting ready, throwing some punches there with the trainer, getting ready for that big match that is. Now we cross over to the Zoom-in segment of today's show, so stay tuned for that.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts. Just like that. Oh, did I tell you what my husband did?
Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking or cell phone banking, and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?
The Namibia Rugby Union, in collaboration with Namibia Breweries Limited, will this week host the first round of matches of the newly introduced Windhoek Draught Franchise 10th tournament at the Hage Geingob Stadium. The tournament will see various top local coaches oversee 6 teams of selected home-based players during the course of the competition. Here is the Namibia Rugby Union CEO, John Hines, speaking about the competition.
Alright, so we are here with the CEO of the Namibia Rugby Union, Mr. John Hines, just to have a quick chat about the Windhoek Draught tennis sides for the first time being held by the Rugby Union. Perhaps you can just give us a bit of background on how this idea started.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for once again the opportunity to share some rugby thoughts and ideas. As I think the concept was always existed within the NRU. It wasn't something that I just came up, decided I'm going to start something. But being previously involved with Cricket Namibia in starting that whole franchise concept, I think that was a good platform to realize that rugby would be ideal to start some type of competition, which is now called the Windhoek Draught Franchise 10th. And I can positively say with confidence that this competition format will now also continue over to move over to 2023, and the format will change to 15s and 7s. So it is something that at board level was also quite welcomed.
Okay, so perhaps you could just, for people that are not familiar with the concept, just to explain a little bit about how it works.
Well, it starts with a dream. Then it becomes a organizing concept, and it starts with the registration of players, and we were fortunate to have 223 players that registered. And with that you need some leaders, you need team owners. So it's the concept started with the presentation, 6 companies bought into the concept, and basically those 6 companies are now team owners. And each of those, the team owners, the companies, then drafted a coach, assistant coach and a manager. and the earnest responsibility then fell on the coaches to draft out of the 223 players, draft players from randomly from the registered group, and from there they were supposed to basically, or they did in actual fact, the composition of putting a team of 20 players together to play in that in the Windhoek Draught Franchise teams.
Okay, so each franchise has basically then 20 registered players for this these 2 weekends of playing.
Yeah, definitely, and it's players coming from different clubs, from different towns, and for the fact that I do know that we are basically now accommodating 20 players from between Grootfontein and Walvis Bay, and then also a huge group from Rehoboth players is also part of, because I've seen the arranging of transportation, accommodation. Yeah, so it's mixed match of teams, players from different clubs.
Okay, so the playing regulations or the rules of the tournament is quite special with the power play aspect. Can you maybe just elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, it was the thought was on what would be the ideal length of the tens. I know the Cape Town tens work on 10 minutes aside, but with the whole power play, we've basically now decreased from 15 to 12 minutes. So it's going to work like this. The first 8 minutes will be a normal scrum, contested scrum, and then the last 4 minutes will be it will be replaced by a tap instead of a scrum. All scrum offences or penalties will be played with a quick tap. But the quick tap during that 4 minutes will be occupied, or it will be in line with a bonus point, almost like a super power play. So a try will be, instead of 5 points, will be 10, and the conversion will be automatically then it will be automatic conversion. So it will be 10 points in the power play, and it is another bonus points for every try scored after the third try. It will you then earn additional bonus points.
Okay, great. So how would you say this concept can benefit Namibia Rugby? What would you say are we looking to get out of this tournament in the long run?
Now, there's multiple reasons or benefits from this event. This is the ideal platform to give our players the opportunity to play apart from a rich and a healthy culture club in the history. They now get opportunity to play amongst or with each other. Normally, I will be playing against Endro. Now this weekend, for next 2 weekends, I must play with Endro. So that is the building that camaraderie between clubs. Number 2 is to close the gap between club and national level, and then also basically to create a platform, a pathway for our coaches, managers, referees, because this is going to be a high level, and then also preparing for the sevens competition that's taking place in 2023, and I believe this will be basically a huge platform, making provision for the NRU to provide different aspects of rugby growth. Okay,
so are there any rewards for the winning teams in the tournament?
This year we will start off as a festival. Yes, we want to have the competition factor, it will be there. There was questions asked as, you know what, for the first year we go as a festival because we are building a new product. But yes, for players, there will be. We're still figuring it out as we are moving along. There will be individual prizes, cash prizes for players based on performances, and that I will basically discuss with my organizing committee, because surprises is always welcome than expecting what is coming our way. Yeah.
Okay, so I think these 2 weekends definitely will provide a lot of entertainment for people watching. So is there anything else you would like to add on this concept, or why people should come and watch it?
Yeah, most definitely. We're gonna see your local heroes, your local national players, and your local club player putting their hands up and say, "Hey, listen, there's still a World Cup that's around the corner. If I say around the corner, it's a year from now." And I'm actually a youngster that did not get the opportunity yet. So I'm actually going to cover this, that it's still a chance for a player to come in. It's still a chance for our community, rugby community, to see their stars or their favorite players running on a field. Action-packed rugby. And it's a massive opportunity to say thank you to the Windhoek Draught NBL. So that's why it's called the Windhoek Draught Rugby Tournament. And also the companies that's involved, that's your DSTV, that's Gravity, and there's also Best Choice, Cowboys, Brand Plan, and then also the
Yukon.
The Yukon, now formerly known as MTN. So there's also, while we were busy with the whole concept, MTN then changed their company profile or company name to Yukon. And then it's the team Windhoek Draught. Why can't you have a team while you are also the sponsor? And also Future Media is playing a vital role. The media houses, NTV, for covering the TV2 will be covering the weekend. So you must come to the stadium. If you can't make it, unless you are 400 kilometers away, then you can watch it online. Brought to you by NTV and then TV2 Namibia. So we are quite fortunate.
Yeah, so I think this can obviously also lead to players being identified for upcoming sevens tournaments that Namibia will be involved in.
Yes, definitely. This is the platform for that player to say, hey, listen, I'm still around. I'm forced to play 15s because it's the only competition available. But now with the 10s moving to 15s and 7s, in the it's a competition that leads into a qualifier, which takes place next year in April. I believe it might still be in Kenya or Uganda. So yes, this is the platform for that player to say, I'm still fit. I might be in my late 20s, early 30s, but I'm good enough. Or I'm a new upcoming under 20 player. I want to represent them at a sevens level. The table is set for action. It's packed with action in actual fact.
I see, great. So thank you. We're looking very much forward to this tournament, and thanks for organizing it. All the best.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. Pleasure.
Well, you heard it there from Haynes himself. A beautiful tournament that it's said to be a first of its kind tennis side that will start on Saturday at Hage Geingob Stadium. We look forward to seeing you guys out there. With that, let's take a short break. Once we return, we cross over to the Spotify segment of today's show. Well, let's take a look at what the youth are busy with in sports. Florian Seelenbinder, an 11-year-old Namibian tennis player, came third in the HTV Internationals for under 12 players in Frankfurt, that is Germany, this weekend. He had to win 2 qualifying matches to enter the main draw of the tournament. In the quarterfinals, he won 7-6 and 6-0, but he lost in the semi-finals in sets of 3-6 and 3-6. Regardless of that, Florian did really well in the competition, so we would like to congratulate him for the beautiful performance that he put in there. Staying on tennis, this weekend we have the NTA Senior Tournament that is set to start tomorrow. That is, sorry for that. The tournament will see senior players, all ages from 12 all the way to 80, compete for points that are very valuable to compete in international competition, that is. So Saturday, starting tomorrow to Saturday, will be good days to go out to the Central Tennis Club in Kleine Cooper Windhoek for some tennis action. Swimming, the Namibian Swimming Federation held its opening national short course swimming championship at the Cube in Swakopmund, which was a fun field event with a lot of records being broken. We caught up with a few of the record breakers, and this is what they had to say.
My name is Jose Conjulo. I'm in the category 15 to 16, and I've won silver victory in the ballroom. And Namibian Short Course Nationals is always highlighting Namibia swimming. It's always such a fun event to be. The energy and the vibes were just amazing. I just fed off it during the finals and can't complain about much.
Any plans for the future?
Just gonna take around about a week break and just get back to training, just doing what I love and just taking the flow.
Olympics, junior, anything of that sort?
If Junior Worlds is next year, then hopefully I'll get chosen for it. Other than that, we're just going to take it month by month, day by day, and just keep trying to better ourselves.
Thank you, Jose. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Thank you so much.
No, I'm very proud about how the gala went. It went a lot better than I expected. It was great to see all the swimmers trying their best. Even when mistakes happened, some of them just kept on going. I also made some mistakes and also went on for it. But I guess that's how life is. You make mistakes because work is what you got and try your best. That's what we all did and that's what I did. And I think the results speak for themselves.
What is your results overall, Luciano?
My results were quite well. I swam, this is my first time I swam in the Masters category. So I set up some new records for all the events that I swam. It was about 8 records that I set. And a new time that I set up for the 200 back shoot. So for that I'm very honored, very proud. Just very impressed with my performance.
Thank you so much, Luciano. What's the way forward?
The way forward is just continuing what I do, continue what I'm doing, the love of the sport, supporting the swimmers, supporting myself, and see where it leads.
Thank you so much, eh? All the best to the future.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Westerveen. I'm very pleased with my results for Short Course Nationals this year. Overall, all of the swimmers did very well. I was surprised when I broke a 50 fly record and when I swam a 59 for 100 freestyle, which is a massive improvement from last time. I couldn't have done it without my coach and the support of my parents and teammates.
What's your plan for the future, Riza?
For the future? I wanted to go to Junior Worlds next year, and end of this year I'm going to Region 5, which is in Malawi.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
What other achievements did you reach for this Short Course Nationals, apart from the record that you broke?
I got 606 FINA points for the 200 backstroke and 600 FINA points for the 100 freestyle.
And how many medals did you receive?
I'm not sure.
It's too many. Yeah. Thank you so much, Riza.
You're welcome.
Well, there you heard it from a few of our swimmers. A few highlights from that was Renza Vesenade, who did really good, and she set the following national record of the age group under 15 to under 16 by doing 29 minutes and 29 seconds and 25.25 in the 50-meter fly. Up next is the international segment with Arya Ogat. Stay tuned.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with soccer news. It is UEFA Nations League that still continues, one of the premier tournaments in Europe, and all the best national teams that's playing in that Nations League. News from the tournament is that Spain went through to the semi-final, and that was after beating Portugal in their Group 2 game, and that game was played in Braga in Portugal, and Spain winning 1-0. And this goal was scored in the 88th minute, and that was by Alvaro Morata. He's a former Chelsea player. And now the semi-finalists have been determined. Spain will join Croatia Italy, and also the Netherlands. Those semi-finals will be played next year in June. Also news from the tournament is that Scotland earned a promotion to the top tier, that is the top 16 teams. They play in 4 groups, and so they got relegated. They went up. They're going up, promoted to the top 16. That was after a draw against Ukraine, and that game was played in Krakow in Ukraine. So it was a good result for Scotland, and they went up to the top 16 in the next year's Nations League. Going on to tennis news, and it is on the ATP, the men's tour. It is the Korean Open that started, and the news from the tournament in the round of 32, there was one top seed that already lost, and his name is Dan Evans of Britain. He's out. He lost to Japan's Yoshiki Nishioka, and the score there was 6-2 and 7-6. In the round of 16, it was Denis Shapovalov of Canada. He's number 4 seed. He safely through. He beat Jaume Munar from Spain, and the score 7-5 and 6-4. The top seed in the tournament is Casper Ruud from Norway, and he will play Nicolas Jarry of Chile in the round of 16. The number 2 seed is Cameron Norrie of Great Britain, and the 3rd seed for this tournament is USA's Taylor Fritz. Continuing international sports news with golf news, it's still the LIV Invitational Golf Tour and its battle with the PGA of America that's making the news. The LIV Golf Tour is a breakaway league with many of the top players in the world playing in that, and the PGA said that they will not allow those players to play on the US PGA Tour. So there was a lawsuit, but 2 players stepped back now. That is big news. And it is Phil Mickelson of the USA and Ian Poulter of Great Britain that said they're not going to be involved in this lawsuit against the PGA anymore. There's originally 11 plaintiffs in this case, and it is some of the plaintiffs that's remaining now is Bryson DeChambeau of the USA, also Matt Jones of the USA, and Peter Uihlein of the USA. And they're joined by the LIV Golf entity that's also one of the plaintiffs in this case. So LIV Golf at the moment is quite controversial. It is a breakaway league with 48 players, but that is by invitation only, and there's no cut. They play 54 holes in a shotgun start, and so there's also no official sponsor linked to the tournament. It is funded by Saudi Arabia. Because of today's international sports news, it is a Formula One racing news, and it is the Formula One racing calendar that continues this weekend. It is in Singapore. It's a street race. It's a bumpy ride, as they call it. It's a 23 turns, and it's a 5-kilometer circuit in Singapore. And leading at the moment still is Max Verstappen. He will be the favorite in his Honda Red Bull. He's got 335 points at the moment, and he's leading quite comfortably over Charles Leclerc in his Ferrari on 211 points. Lewis Hamilton, he is in 6th position on 168. Also news from the Formula One racing authorities are that next season there will be 24 races, but more significantly, they will double the sprint events to qualify. What it means is on a Friday there's a qualifying. Those qualifying positions then on a Saturday have a shortened race that is normally between 15 and 20 laps of the race, and they call it the sprint qualifying. And how they finish in that race then determines how they start on the Sunday in the Formula One race then. So that is going to be doubled next year, the sprint events in the Formula One calendar for 2024. So that's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we'll talk again tomorrow.
And that brings us to the end of today's Sports Drive Show. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place.